Hello, this is Coach Tim Campbell, and I'm your host for the Self-Made is a Myth, Make a Difference Together show, where we are talking with successful business owners to hear their stories of building their business and the journey of getting to that business success. And because we know that achieving success in business is not something that we can do on our own, we're taking some time out to recognize and appreciate the folks who have helped us along our journey. Today, I'm excited to have a couple fellow business owners from Indiana with us today. One of my guests lived in Australia for 2 months under an exchange program, and the other is a self-taught musician. We're going to figure out who each of those are in a minute. And in their downtime, they both enjoy reading. It's my pleasure to welcome Karen and Ryan to the show today. Hello, folks.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let's start. We'll have you both introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit of your background, personal story, like where you were born and where you live, and about your family, and then we'll go from there. So, Karen, we'll start with you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Klaus. I was born in South Bend, Indiana, and I currently reside in Valparaiso. So I am Indiana, born and bred, that's for sure. I have two boys. They live in Seattle. They've been out there for about 8 years and miss them daily.
And Karen, you are the one that was in Australia, correct? So tell us about that.
Oh, it was so exciting. Seems like a lifetime ago, actually. I turned 19 over there and had an opportunity through the Lions Club exchange program, and went with a friend and stayed, yeah, about 2.5 months. And I adored it, and I would love to go back. I'm still in contact with the families that I stayed with.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
it's always right here in my heart.
Yeah. So about 5 years ago, when you were 19.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I figured it was obvious.
All right, Ryan, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. My name is Ryan Staniszeski. Never mispronounced by anybody.
I wouldn't imagine.
I needed, I needed help spelling my name into about half of kindergarten. I still needed help spelling that last name. But I'm also an Indiana native. I was born in Hammond, Indiana, and I currently reside in Crown Point, Indiana. Um, no family for me, single guy. But I enjoy that, and I make use of my time. I exercise. I like to read, and I'm the one. I'm a self-taught musician, so I play guitar and write a little bit, so that keeps me very busy, along with the business.
Yeah, very cool. So I'll have you both tell us about a funny story that your family likes to share about you that you'd be so kind to share with us today. Karen, well, again, we'll start with you.
I laugh at this myself, actually. I had about 24 years in customer service slash business analyst through Bethlehem Steel and ArcelorMittal, which is a big steel mill here in the area in Northwest Indiana. So I started in customer service, and my boys every now and again would call the office and have to talk to mom throughout the day. When they got home from school, they would check in and such. And when I would answer the phone, I'd be like, hi, you've reached Karen Klaus. How may I help you? And they initially said that my customer service voice was much different than my mom voice.
Nice.
And still to this day, especially my older son, Taylor, still reminds me of that quite often.
Wonderful.
I laugh all the
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you go in and out of it just randomly and they catch you on it, or is it only when you're talking
I don't
business?
even realize I'm doing it after, but they will catch me if I guess go into it too much.
Awesome. Ryan, how about you?
I'm known in my family, and I was trying to think, when it started, but I'm always the guy that brings shrimp fried rice to our family dinners, no matter what, Christmas, Thanksgiving, anything. I'm bringing fried rice. I don't know. I like it. It's different. To me, it just kind of shakes up the Christmas ham or the turkey, So that's just me being a little bit odd and different, but I do enjoy it. And oddly enough, people have started now to come to kind of rely on me bringing that. So it's worked
Yes. So if you don't show up with it, you'd be disappointing everyone.
probably, yeah. Where's Ryan in this fried rice? They laughed
Right?
at me for years, and now they're like, oh, okay, that's not bad. They're counting on it. So
Awesome. Well, I'd like you guys to tell us how the business came about, and at what point did you have the confidence that you could run your own business?
well, we Karen and I moved to California in 2016. Just a life change. Just literally picked up. No jobs left. No apartment. Nothing.
Wow.
Anyway, um, but while we were out there, CBD and even cannabis is big out in California. It has been for a while, and some friends tried to talk us into the CBD, and at first we're like, what's CBD? That's what the heck's that? And
Yeah.
at some point we started to try it. I've had some back issues, a little bit. Karen's wanted maybe some focus, some sleep, help with sleep. So we started to try some CBD and started, finding some benefits from it. And we ended up moving back to Indiana in 2018. And it just so happened that shortly after we moved back, hemp became legal in Indiana. And we were hanging out one day trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do with our future now that we're back in Indiana. And I don't know which one of us, but somebody said, well, maybe we should look at opening a CBD company and spread the word. CBD at that point was pretty new here in Indiana.
Right.
So we had found some personal benefits from it. So it just kind of, I wish we had like some great, fantastic story about how it came about. But I mean, I guess that in itself is because we were getting the benefits from CBD,
Yeah.
and we thought, what a great idea to help some of the folks in our area. We both Indiana natives and grew up here, and we know a lot of folks in the community, and so that's how it started. Just what the heck are we going to do next? And
Yeah.
ding, there it went.
Wonderful.
Off and running.
Tell us a little bit more about the company. What's the name, and more specifically, what do you guys offer? How do you help people?
Okay, the name's interesting. We came up with probably a list of, I don't know, 10 names initially, which we thought were fairly good, and ran those with family, friends, and stuff, and had them pick out, I think, the top 3 maybe, and narrowed it down from there. So green, of course, because the plant is green, the hemp plant is green. Balance. That is one of the biggest benefits of cannabis and hemp in general, is that homeostasis. So balancing yourself. So green balance. Initially, hemp and wellness. We've sort of shortened it a little bit to green balance CBD. But yeah, we felt good, and friends and family liked it, so we thought, okay, we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
And we recently interject. We looked a couple months ago. I was cleaning some files on the computer. We saw the original list of the names that we came up originally,
Yeah.
and they look so foreign now.
Yeah, it was a good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice, rebalance. So our infinity logo, which has the hemp flower on the top of it, is officially trademarked. So we went through that process early on.
Nice.
And yeah, so we're happy with it. We're definitely happy with it. We are a very small business. I mean, small as in this is it, right? We're online business. We do not have a brick and mortar, and that was by choice. As Ryan mentioned, in 2018, when we first started, hemp was so new around the area, and we were concerned if we had a brick and mortar dedicated to just CBD,
Sure.
people might be a bit apprehensive to go there. So we started our online business. We do a lot of events and expos, trade shows, across the country, the trade shows and expos, but a lot of events around the area, and wholesale to a number of local businesses in the area as well. So that helps us, since we don't have the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
We have had some part-time employees for some of the events
Mhm.
that we've worked with, but right now it's these two.
Fantastic. Awesome. So tell us a story of where someone pushed you or inspired you that you could do it, even though maybe you thought that you couldn't, and the impact that that person had on you.
Well, that happened early on with us because when we first had this idea of doing the CBD business, we didn't know where the heck to start. We both, Karen mentioned she had 23, 24 years at steel mill as a business analyst. My background is management, sales. I mean, so we had the tools. We just weren't sure what to do. So we have a couple of good friends in the area who own a coffee shop, and they are killing it. Real. I mean, they do everything very well. It's thought out. They do everything with intent, and we like that about them. And we're very like minded, and we're friends with them. So we went to them for some guidance when we first started, um, and even just the way they spoke to us, giving us the confidence and a little bit of direction on, hey, you really want to start here. You want to make sure you do this. If you don't do anything else, do this and this. And we took notes, and we had our own meetings with Karen and I, and that was one of the things that really helped springboard us into saying, you know what, yes, we can do this. Bringing it from the idea, sitting at the coffee shop, to actually making it happen.
That's wonderful. What's their names?
They are Chuck and Allison. They own Fluid Coffee, and they're in Valparaiso, based in Valparaiso. They now have 5 locations.
Yeah, matter of fact, their fifth location grand opening is tonight,
Oh,
actually.
wonderful.
So, yeah, and they've been in business about the same,
Little longer
little
than us.
longer, 5 to 6 years. They might be going on 6 now, but
Tim, we had a few other folks too. When we first started, we have some friends in the CBD business, the industry, that helped us with more of the industry side of stuff.
Right.
The folks from Fluid Coffee kind of helped us with the business aspect of things.
Yeah.
But CBD's got a lot of rules, regulations, things are always changing. And we've got a few friends in the industry who have helped tremendously with some of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic. So, business can have its ups and downs. So, what's been your biggest learning as business owners?
oh boy. That's a great question.
probably tough to put one thing.
Yeah.
Just again, with all the laws and the things with the CBD, I guess our biggest thing is just always being ready for change, and you can't get complacent.
No.
You may have times where you feel like you are, but you're still always doing a little something. A small businesses generally are 24/7. So learning experience is keeping on top of things as best you can.
Yeah.
Not letting things slip too much, and
we do rely on a lot of resources around the area as well for that. We participate in small business association in the area through Purdue in the area here. Some of the chambers that we belong to,
Right.
we participate in some of their networking events and small business, I don't want to say classes, but we've had some one-on-one sessions with some of their small business coaches.
Right.
That were able to direct us in certain ways. We still, like Brian said, some of the laws are just simple things when we first started. What is the difference between an LLC, a sole proprietorship,
Right.
or an S corp, a corporation in general? It sounds so elementary now, but when you're first starting, those things are so overwhelming. And that's where the Chuck and Allisons come in, and some of our other friends that are small business owners that, this is what we did. This is who we talked to.
Yeah.
And that networking has been invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
I often speak about the fact that the education system teaches us how to be employees. It doesn't prepare us to be business owners. So then when we take that step, right, you're drinking from the fire hose, trying to figure out all those little nuances and
like I said, we're the backgrounds we come from. We think we're pretty
prepared.
We think, yeah, we're pretty intelligent individuals, and you start looking through some of these things, and we always joke. Well, it's not a joke. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, to answer your question in one, one
succinct
quick answer.
It's hard.
Yeah.
We know that business success doesn't happen in isolation. So tell us about one of the biggest challenges you had over the years since launching, and maybe a fellow business owner that came alongside you and helped you through that.
Well, this probably goes back to our friend, our different set of friends who are in the CBD industry, because that's where most of our challenges probably lie. Is we got help from our Fluid Coffee folks with some of the business type of stuff, but the CBD part of it, we have three friends, Ralph, Russell, and Jesse, and they're all in the business, and they've been in the business for probably a combined years, 50 plus years combined.
Okay.
So some of the again, to lump it into one specific challenge is difficult, but they have been there and have been just kind of a constant resource for us for anything that's come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a huge challenge right off the bat was getting a payment processor. Banks don't like CBD.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that. So
Yeah.
our payment processor, we had them for about a week and a half, and we got an email that says your account has been deleted.
And we were at an event.
Yeah, we were at an event working. So no,
Wow.
we're just cut off.
Yeah. And the banks don't look so friendly upon you if you just show up with a bucket of cash, right?
They sure don't.
Yeah.
So one of the first things we did is we called our friend Ralph, he's been in the business a long time, and he said, "Oh, guys, you gotta do this, you gotta do that." So we did everything legally, and but we were able to get our payment processor, which is huge. I mean, we need that.
Yes.
But that was big right away. That was one of our first all of a sudden challenges.
Yeah, wow.
We'd only been in business a couple of weeks, and everything was going pretty smooth, and we're like, okay, this is this
isn't
great.
too bad.
Right? What are all those other people talking about business being hard?
Yeah. Then all of a sudden we can't take payments.
We can't take payments.
And so having some friends in the industry has been just valuable. I'm both sides of it, with the business aspect and the CBD aspect, because CBD doesn't, and hemp and cannabis, they don't tend to fall under the same general guidelines as most businesses.
Sure. Right.
So we're thankful to have those guys, and then we still talk to them, not as often. I'm hoping, because we've got some good experience under our belts. We still talk to them. When we talk to them now, it's mostly just friendly. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? And they've really helped us a lot with things like that.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So if I ask you to pick three people in your business journey as owners that you're most grateful for them being there to help with your business's growth, who are those three people and how'd they help you?
Oh, it might be the three that Ryan just said. I mean, locally, one of the challenges we face too with our business is just exposure, and exposure meaning there's a lot of roadblocks with CBD as far as social media and Google and advertising and things like that. So we have relied quite heavily locally with collaborators, our business partners that we wholesale to,
right,
to help get our name out there, and we reciprocate. We are very strong with support local, and those folks in the area, the Fluid folks, Scott and Allison would definitely be right up there. We have another gentleman who owns, his name is Scott Milligan. He owns Island Nutrition in Valparaiso. So he does non-GMO smoothies and green juices, and it's a little bit of a health store, but it has that capability too. And he's been priceless with getting our name out there, selling our products, and doing some things with it, just to let people know it's versatile. You don't necessarily always have to just take some CBD oil and put it under your tongue. There's different ways to take it, and shows the versatility of it. Who would be number three?
Our friend, I mentioned him earlier too, our friend Jesse, who's in the industry, he invited us out to his hemp farm just outside of Denver. So we
Okay.
went there a few years ago, I
Yeah.
guess, and he gave us a tour of the facility, and we had maybe about a year under our belt in business, so we were pretty familiar with most things. But some of the stuff he showed us was pretty eye opening, as far as just being able to tour an actual hemp facility where they grow, they process everything, and it was really cool. And he took us kind of behind the scenes to some of
Mm.
that stuff, and we got to put the white lab coats on and go into the lab. And real quick side note, when we first started this, we thought all these guys making this hemp were all these hippie guys, and but I can tell you, it turns out that these people are like physicists, chemists. I mean, they are
Sure.
on top of what's going on and talking over our heads about a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a very interesting. It was an eye-opening trip for us, and it boosted our confidence. We had been in business a little while
Mhm.
prior to that, but then it kind of boosted our confidence, and it just helps to have that resource like Jesse. So hats off to him too.
Fantastic. So as you think about the next 3 to 5 years, what are the biggest challenges you see that you're going to face in reaching your goals, and who are the types of people that you're going to need to help you solve those challenges?
That we talk about that a lot. I tell you, in the almost 5 years we have been in business so far, CBD and hemp has just grown exponentially. And we're speaking around our Northwest Indiana area, but we are surrounded by states who are recreational. Illinois, Michigan, I think Ohio might be medicinal, but probably one of the biggest challenges we face is how does Green Balance CBD stand out in this huge conglomerate of CBD companies that are out there, and there's some really good ones out there. They, some of them are the pioneers in the industry. They've got some pretty deep pockets, and they're the
Yeah.
big guys of the industry. So how does little old Green Balance here?
Yeah.
How do we compete?
Yeah.
And we're always searching and looking for resources to help us figure those things out.
Yeah.
I think our goal and our plan is just to keep kind of doing what we're doing, but try to get better at it. We're
Yeah.
constantly educating, um, and just trying to promote. Like Karen said, there's a lot of companies out there making some really good CBD, but there's a lot of them that aren't.
Mhm.
So we're trying to help the consumers, and you know catch 22. If you don't buy Green Balance CBD, at least educate yourself.
Sure.
We'd love for you to buy Green Balance CBD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Educate yourself. There are some companies out there that are cutting corners, and it gives companies like us and some of the bigger, better companies a bad name.
Yeah.
So our goal is to just really kind of amp up the education,
Mhm.
and
Stay transparent
we're
too.
we're very transparent about everything. We have nothing to hide. We always say, if you go on our website, you should be able to find everything you need. If you don't, call us or email us. We'll be there for you. And if you go to a website or you look at a bottle and it doesn't quite have some of the information, we saw a bottle CBD a few years back that didn't have any contact information on it for the company. Um, no ingredients. So
Oh,
if you
wow.
see like that, it's like, okay. So that's our goal, is to, just like I said, amp that up. We can never get complacent doing what we're doing, and just to try to keep that going.
Yeah. I like, Karen, what you were saying about standing out. So, something that I work on with our clients is having a unique selling proposition. So, right, like, what is it that makes you guys unique and different from your competitors that allows you to charge the price that you need to have a sustainable business model? And oftentimes it's not something that comes to mind right away. So for folks listening, if you have a similar challenge, right, you want to spend some time, brainstorming what makes us different, what makes us special, what makes us unique versus, others in your industry. so that when you're talking to people, you can use that as your marketing and your selling, right? Of why work with us? Well, work with us because of these reasons. And it differentiates the product from the overall experience by sharing some of those things that are unique and different. And for everybody listening, you don't want to compete on price. The biggest mistake that a lot of businesses make is that they just want to be the best price, and all that really does is creates this death spiral to the bottom of who can charge the less, right? Or who's willing to take the next price cut. And so by having that unique selling proposition, it allows you to charge the price that you need to keep having profits to invest back into the business growth.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
have a perfect example of that. When we first started, we had a banner that we would take to our trade shows or expos, and it stand-up vertical banner. So it's, quite tall, and it said, what is CBD? It had sort of a definition of what CBD was. Again, when we started in 2018,
Sure.
many people in the area just didn't even, I could have said, what is XYZ up there?
Right.
So we did a lot of that. Now, in the last couple of years, our banners say, why choose green balance?
Nice. Yeah.
And then we have some bullet points as to why. And then if they still want to have some conversation, we're, at the events ourselves.
Yes.
We do them either together or, two events on, one day we'll each, take those events. So we're there to answer the questions, and that helps tremendously.
Yeah, that's
and
fantastic.
gain value and trust from
Yeah.
the customers.
And you can share the story of the white lab coats and
Yeah.
all the science, right?
I'll tell you, Tim, we've done a lot of events, and we've had a lot of folks, more than we can count, tell us that they appreciate, the owners of the business being there, and then we can talk about things, and people love stories, and we're not making these stories up, they're true, but they do. People can relate to stories. I've always been taught that, and I have sales background, and I try so hard. And we talked about that at the very beginning. If I can touch on this, not to have a sales pitch or a certain technique. You know what?
No gimmicks.
We have a good product. We have a great product, and we believe in it. So all we can do is tell you the benefits and tell you some stories. And if you decide that it's for you, fantastic. We're there for you. If you decide maybe it's not for you, that's okay. We're not gonna push anybody.
Yeah.
So that's where we again, going back to our transparency, we're genuine, we're honest, and we're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. And so that's where we come from.
That it reminds me, we have a principle. We call it, so our definition of sales is professionally helping people make a decision that's right for them. Right?
Okay.
So you get away from that, the negative connotation of, the sleazy car salesman or the door to door, right? It's like, no, you know what? If this isn't right for you, it's not right for you, right?
Right.
It's not good or bad. It just is. And right, move on to the next person. Right?
Yes.
We've always, nobody wants an infomercial in front of your at a trade show, at a farmer's market. Nobody wants to, hey, if you order now, get the second bottle for, stuff. So Ryan said it very well. It's very simple and basic philosophy that has carried us through our business and still does to this day.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So Jim Rohn says that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So as you think about that quote, what advice would you have for business owners who are trying to do it on their own, who think that they don't need anybody else's help, that they think that they can just figure it out by themselves? What would you tell those folks?
I would tell them, good luck. No, I'm
Fucker, no.
I am somebody who likes to do things on my own sometimes. And I'll dig and I'll try to find answers, but starting a business, gosh, like I touched on it earlier. I mean, I think we're two pretty intelligent, human beings, but if you've not run a business before, you can't know everything. It's nearly impossible.
You don't
And
need to recreate the wheel.
no,
It's out there. That wheel is there.
um, ask for, don't be afraid to ask for some help. Like you said, you surround yourself with these people and you become them. The folks that we turn to at the beginning, yeah, we hope we're like them, and I think we have probably become to some degree a little bit of each of them maybe is in us,
Yeah.
because we've used them for resources. So, a new business owner or start a new business, use the resources, use your friends, your family. If you know any business owners, if you don't have anybody there are local organizations. We have a local, a small business association.
Mhm.
You can go to the office, you can get online.
Yeah.
Use the resources because that's going to help you on your road to success. Even though learning by failure can you can learn a lot from that too. But
We've learned a lot that way as well.
Yes. Amen to that.
I feel like too, if you do too much on your own and you fail big time, then maybe your whole business may fail. And if it's something that you're really a dream, not that it still couldn't happen, but to make the give you the best chance, I think use any resource you can, and don't be afraid or too proud. And I was like that a little bit at the beginning. We don't need to ask them. And then all of a sudden you start looking into some of these things, and you're like, oh, wait a second, okay, maybe we do need that.
Right? Yes.
Because, we didn't want to fail, and we wanted to give ourselves the best chance to succeed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate that insight, and that's the whole premise of the show is recognizing that we don't have to do it on our own. So, Karen and Ryan, you've been blessed with some incredible people that have helped you along the journey. If they were all on the show here today, what would you want to say to them?
Well, of course, a hearty and heartfelt thank you for everything, because we wouldn't be where we're at without those folks. Honestly, they all have played their role, from our cannabis and CBD friends to our, again, small business owners around the area. Thank you. And we continue to lean on them, and they lean on us, and we appreciate that. I mean, that, reciprocal benefit never ends. And maybe we'll grab a few more people and throw them in that bucket as well.
That's like, thank you doesn't seem
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
So if we'd virtual toast, to them if they were.
Carol, wasn't the Oscars just the nominations? Hi, I would like. I've got 20,000 people here. I'd like to thank for my.
Like Karen said, if those, the Fluid Coffee Roaster folks and our three friends in the business, if we didn't have them, I don't know if we'd be sitting here talking with you today. I kind of think probably not. So.
They're invaluable.
We're super grateful that they've allowed us to continue this business and be successful as we have been, and to continue to do what we love doing. So thank you.
Well, we will make sure that they get to see this video so that they can hear you thanking them. Karen and Ryan, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. Really enjoyed speaking with you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate it.
We had fun.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
To everyone who tuned in, thanks for listening to the Self-Made is a Myth show with your host, Coach Tim Campsell. Be sure to help us spread this movement by liking the show and posting about it on your social media. And to join our movement, go to bemadtogether.com. All right, folks, that's a wrap. Make sure to pay it forward, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.